how's it doing? It's definitely been a while since my video last time, and as a caveat, I will explain that while building this, I had two of these because the nice man sent me two of them for being delayed via the holidays, and after making the first one, I got up, I slipped in my socks, and then broke the first rack, and it will forever haunt me for as long as I live. But this is meant to be a helpy handy do-to on how to make this thing, because, you know, I didn't really see any instructions on the website. He says if there are any issues, just to contact him and kind of walk you through it. But I fiddled with one of these for quite some time, trying to figure out the best way to do it, and I think I got it down. You actually see that I changed my process mid-video. Before you go in and start doing the stuff, just watch the entire video first and go from there, because I do change my method in between it. But anyway, why I'm buying this is because I need a better way to store paint. Because right now I got a paint rack that comes outwards. Well, it's not very space efficient. And I'm trying to find a vertical paint bottle holder, because of the fact you can hold 70 bottles in the square footage on your tabletop or your workstation of only a few inches. So that's why I wanted it. It's more efficient. It's a more efficient way of holding your paints. And instead of giving my money to Amazon, as I'm trying to avoid doing much as possible nowadays, I found Ironheart Studios, or Ironheart, I said his name wrong, Ironheart Artisans. And I got in contact with him on Facebook saying I want to review your paint rack, and he's very gracious. He's a very nice man. He actually sent me two of these, like I said before. It's a shame it's a shame I broke them. But for $30, you can get yourself one of these, and it's MDF board. That's the thing it does. And yeah, so also right here is where I change my method. You'll see why here in a minute. But yeah, so the best thing about these is that you're supporting a business. That's what you need. The small fry and the big corporate commercial pond. You know, you want to help out the little people out there, the private businesses, the small businesses. Which is why I bought this from Ironheart Studios, even though it costed me $5 more than it would have via Amazon. I wanted to give this man my money, not some giant corporate entity. But yeah, overall, after tinkering with it, it is a relatively easy build. As you guys know, I'm a professional idiot trained by the Army, so if I can do it, you can definitely do it. But as you see, these things have little eye holes in the back, so you can actually hang them from a wall or an elevated position, which is actually a nice touch. That way you can hang it off, actually hang it off your tabletop or your workstation, and it won't be in your way. You can hang it like maybe a foot or two above where you're working. You know, it's actually a really good idea. But, you know, during the video, I was a bit upset, I was a bit frustrated, so you're going to see me bumble around a little bit while I'm doing this. Because I'm still smarting after smashing my completely built extra free paint rack against the floor. But as all MDF board racks are, they're a bit fiddly. They're all a bit fiddly. And I get my epiphany of how to do this better about halfway through. Goodness. So where you want to get it is around this point. You want to where you have all that put together on the sides and the top. It's a bit fiddly. You're putting, you know, little bitty holes and even smaller slots, but you want to get it where the main box is done. So you follow the front part of the video where you're going through and you're putting in, you know, all your little doohickeys there, and more or less findangle on all the sides. If you try and do the actual racks before that, they're not. It's multiplying the holes you got to fit in. You don't want to do that. That's what I learned. And then once they're all good to go, then you start slowly fitting in those points. By all means, for the love of God, use your glue. All right, you don't have to use glue, but it'll make your life a lot easier. Find some nice thick glue that dries fast and will hold this little bastard in place. It's gonna help you out. And now that the box is formed and there's tension on it, you just kind of start slotting your main dropper bottle holders in. This is far easier. Now the first time I had it all together in the middle and then I put the sides on. I did it, but it was a pain in the butt. I thought, man, I should just do this like this next time. So I'm doing this with this box where you simply go in and put your actual shelving units in last. That way there's 10, because they're a bit bendy, it's MDF board. And you just start slotting them in, easy peasy. Now you want a holder like this one because of the fact it's going to save you on desk space. Now the one I have right now, it extends out like 1.5 foot. It holds a lot of bottles, don't get me wrong, and they're well displayed, but it takes up 1.5 foot of your workspace. And he sells those things too. He sells those kind of bottle holders, but this is far, far, far more efficient. It holds them all in a nice vertical apartment style holder. They're out of your way. The whole footprint is like 1 foot out on your desk in simply vertical space. It's far, far more efficient. Plus, you know, he does this as his own little business, so it's always good to help out other, you know, private businesses. It really is. The small business feels the biggest impact from your purchases, let me tell you. And this guy was nice enough to send me an extra. And if he hadn't sent me an extra, I would have been down an entire rack. So it was Providence, simply Providence, that he helped me out here. But doing it this way is what I found to be the best way. You get your glue in there, you get it all more or less glue soldered down, and call it a day. And you're good to go. That's almost the best way. Now the most important part, all right, is to, you know, knife hand, be angry at your shelf, how dare you, and then take a nice sharp knife and threaten your shelf. You tell it it'll stay together, it will not fall apart. You threaten it, you give it a sharp jab, you say, don't you fall over, I'm watching you. I'm watching you, shelf. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. This is not my longest review by any means, or my most in-depth. It is simply a quick way to put it together that I found out. It'll save you some headache. You have actual visual representation of what's going on with there. And it's a really solid little piece of kit. And easy to use. It holds all your bottles, really well. And they're out of the way. It's off the main footprint of your desk. It'll save you in space. You can see all the colors. And the most important part is that you can see what colors need shaken up. It's kind of cool because you see the bottoms of it, and paints that are separating, it always separate at the bottom, and it puts all the paint towards your tip, which is also good. It helps you know, reduce gumminess and hole blockage and all that nonsense, because the paint isn't able to dry. It's always being wet on the tip. That didn't sound right. That didn't sound right at all. Forget I said that. The paint is always moist at the tip of the nozzle of your dropper bottle. You got it. Saved it. All right. But yeah, so this is far more efficient in space, because as you can see, that little horizontal space is very, very small. Now, to be fair, it's a high vertical space for sure, but I got plenty of, your wall is always huge. All right, I mean, a horizontal space is far more critical than vertical space. So in my mind, these kinds of dropper bottle holders are honestly better than any else you can find. I mean, just to be frank. I mean, because it's out of the way. It holds a lot. The thing holds 70 dropper bottles. I mean, that's a lot of paint, if you ask me. And I don't see why you shouldn't have one of these. Plus, you're supporting a small business. That's the most important. This is the most important part of this, you know, because all last year, you know, we know what happened, and small businesses were hit the hardest, by all means, and they deserve your money more than Amazon ever will. Be sure to stop by Ironheart Artesians and pick up some things you need, especially one of these dropper bottle holders. Due to the fact I broke my other one, I'm going to be ordering another one of these, believe it or not, to put next to this one, so I got a lot more paint storage, because I got a lot more paint I got to store up. But I'll be buying another one for sure, probably next month, since I broke the one I already had. Oh, goodness. But until I see you next time in the next battle report, product review, or whatever have you, this has been Guard Bro, and I'll see you next time.